smart decision by SKT. They were choosing red side against the side of KT. They choose blue side for flexibility of bans. Because we're not on 7-16, there still are must-ban champions, I would say. That means that blue side has the flexibility to pocket ban, and the first pocket ban is smack bang against Khan. Jack's off the board very early.
Get rid of it. Kalio's going to go as well. Of course, is BDD's second most played, but I personally don't like it. It means that he can't get crazy kills and do incredible stuff, but the Orianna was still more of a role player with Khan sitting there in the limelight, and the Zac is going to be banned on the side of Longzhu this time.
Does mean they have to surrender one of Rakan or Maokai. They were their bans on the red side in the first series, on the blue side, I should say, in the first series. Tristana's banned away, so Kalista is available. But if Kalista is banned, Rakan, Maokai, even Elise will all be available to the side of SKT. They will continue the trend of Tristana and the Kalista not escaping pick ban. Let's see where SKT wants to go with their first pick.
Okay, understandably, of course, Wolf's Rakan performance when he did manage to get the champion in the series against KT was unbelievable. His engaged support play has actually just risen to a level that was unprecedented based on how much Lulu, how much Zyra he was playing earlier on in the season. Man, incredibly strong, as now Kuz might be able to get his hands on a Gragas.
You do notice he'll be preferred over Elise, that previously was the go-to for Kuz. Blank dismantled the Elise coming through from score in Game 3, his first game of that KT Rolster series. Gragas has risen as the must-pick jungler because the cast is so flexible. We've got a lot of hyper carries. There could be Kog'Maw Twitch in this series. We had immovable 80 carries like the Ashe in the previous series, and just bouncing them out. It's like being the Ultra Tank for a couple of seconds because they're out of auto attack range, and that can be so strong in the ganking power we know so well. Xayah was not picked or banned in Game 1, but actually will be the early rotation from Longzhu. Perhaps a denial from SKT because Xayah Rakan was how they won in the final game of the KT series.
Yeah, wanting to deny that Lovers duo, slight upgrades to the kit of both champions, but Blank is going to take away the Sejuani, so still a massive tanky body there in the jungle. Is Faker thinking about what he wants to pick up and for whom.
And also flashing the Taliyah that he has been destroying game after game.
Oh, yeah.
So he's playing around. He's playing around with the champion pool because we have seen Crown try to play Taliyah into Faker. Dismantle, dumpster is probably the way I would call it. It might have been more than a dumpster. I don't even know what the stronger adjective is that is broadcast friendly for what happened to the side of Pawn. It would be a big statement for BDD to lock it in again. He played this against SKT in that series in the second round robin. They will lock it in, but it is on the red side, so they can have some targeted bans. Faker has been so good against Taliyah, but this is BDD's Taliyah. It's most played in the summer season, even eclipsing the Galio 10-2, and it does allow him to have the global impact to potentially snowball the top side or relieve pressure.
But the question is, what do they ban now between the Corki and the Lucian that Faker does like to take into it? I feel like Lucian has to be taken away here by Longzhu right now, because that was what he dealt with Crown on. Crown, of course, very notable Taliyah player himself. BDD, a different beast, but I just feel like it's so dangerous. They could have picked something like a Corki here in the mid lane if they wanted to on the side of Longzhu. The
matchup you leave available against Taliyah for sure is the Kassadin. Kassadin is seen as a lane counter to Taliyah after 6, but you leave it open because SKT drafting Twitch and Kassadin, 2 losing bot lanes, would be too much. That'd be a dream and a gold mine for Longzhu and the pick bans. And you don't respect Kassadin being selected here, but they actually do play with fire. They leave open the Lucian that Faker has been beasting on. 8-1 so far, largely in recent picks as well. Trundle's going to be banned away, so lane pressure pushing top laners that fit the meta. Trundle and Jax, both respect banned away from Khan. Jarvan is his only champion where you really feel like he can straddle the line between damage and engage, but also the split push power. They're going to leave it for last pick though. SKT, it was Shen into Jax that didn't help them with last pick on red side in game 1. This time it's going to be Khan, either playing the Gragas or getting a favorable top lane matchup.
Well, he can play anything, Pub Smithy. I mean, he's got a lot of options that he's played before. I'm hoping for Mordekaiser personally. But Bang looking for the new and improved Echo. Slight upgrades here that Faker could potentially take into the Taliyah. Has been a pick in the past, actually.
Interesting. Into Talia. First time we've seen the matchup on the season. We're expecting it to be mid lane. Guess it could be top lane to push, but no. Seems unlikely. Some teams like to mess up. Expression, who no longer is on Longzhu, was a big top lane Echo player.
Oh, I cast the LPL, don't worry, Papa Smithy. We loved Echo top, even after it wasn't a thing.
They feel like they're safe enough to lock in Shen now that Trundle and Jax are both banned. They do not ban away the Jace, who of course famously Shen will itemize very well against, but it still will have the big pushing power early. And pushing power is how Longzhu play. You remember KT Rolster against SKT in the spring final? They tried Jace out of meta and it didn't work. They returned to Jace. Khan is, this season, feasting on Jace. 8-1, definitely the best Jace player in the world. Apologies to Coco, who had a great season on it in the LPL in the mid lane, but top lane Jace is his spot. Itemization-wise, though, armor is going to be happy times for Shen.
Yeah, and it can now build the new and improved Thornmail that Khan didn't have to deal with. Most of the times that we saw is Jace pulling people apart, but it does give them a heck of a lot of poke options, a lot of mobility, and a lot of follow-up to the engage that Cuz can throw down up towards the top side. If Gorilla can get freed up, if Longzhu can move this composition around and get picks, my god, it's scary to deal with.
And winning lanes when it comes to push in all three. Echo can do weird things with items, so a chance that item breakpoints will happen, but you have to look at the man who's come in this series. Blank is in for game 2 on the Sejuani, who doesn't have necessarily the strongest level 3 ganks. He's got 3 lanes kind of on fire, Atlas. It's a bit of a forest fire when it comes to pressure lanes coming through from Longzhu. So it's very interesting to see how this goes because, yes, BDD is on the Talia that SKT have had so happy times again, but it's going to be more about the late game split push than the early game because Longzhu is set up to win early.
Yeah, and we've seen Sejuani's be picked with only winning lanes because we feel like she doesn't necessarily do anything in the early game and therefore you're just going to lose if it's not going to work. This is SKT. They have a plan, but this is a really scary prospect now for the side that came in pipped as the victors.
Team fights, 1-3-1s, that's what they're set up for.
Well, we'll see what happens as we get into game number 2. Fans are going ballistic here in this packed out venue. SKT picking a dangerous composition. Faker, once again, it's another one of his finals picks. The Echo now going to come out against the flow of the meta. Has been propped up a little bit. 7.15 has at least been looked at. Phase dive, slightly lower cooldown, but that is about it as far as the old Echo.
SKT fans probably also kind of being a bit quizzical about this draft because there was a lot of options available for SKT and they went for the Echo. That's the big interesting new pick that joins that list of picks we showed pre-match that Faker likes to roll into in grand finals. If you think about what Echo has, even though he's a melee champion, very strong wave clear. He can be very non-committal in pushing. May not get every CS because he wants to respect the Talia trades, but does get pretty safe in terms of the wave clear side. Strong with ganks, solo kill potential maybe after some items. But if you look at SKT and you ask me, when is this comp strong? Very clearly, it's 2 to 3 items into the piece when Shen can shrug off the Jace, when Echo can hit a side lane. Talia won't be able to face the Echo in a long lane where you can use that base dive to chase down the Talia. But in a short lane like this, it's really super happy times for Longzhu. So against a team that's strongest early, it is a surprise to see SKT say, okay, we're going to endure the early pain and then really unleash on them.
That doesn't look like Antara's enjoying that pain at all as Khan just throwing the bullets in, lands the shock blast, and is now zoning him away from all of the farm. You saw that melee creep just die. Blank now in full vision. Khan knows exactly what he's able to get away with.
I mean, there's nothing he can do. His kit literally does nothing level 1 against a Jace who wins it every single way. They also know that Sejuani's top side, the ward is timed out, but as you noted, was caught by our cameraman. will look to get the scuttle as we get another look over to the Infernal, but a short one. It's only a glimpse. We're voyeurs for a second about the
Didn't want to risk it. Didn't want to risk it. Of course, no chains were landing at that particular time, nor are they capable of landing in this game because the Blank was banned. Blank. Okay, Arctic assaults his way over the wall, but not actually looking for anything.
So this pathing from Cuz is similar to how SKT shut down Zach. You remember, found score in Game 5 at his Wolf Camp, trying to keep tabs on Sejuani, because Sejuani and Zach, pretty similar identities if you think about it. Yeah. Both of them strongest at level 6, team fight tanks. So chasing him down and just happily contesting camps. We'll see if it's the same team-wide effort from Longzhu that we saw from SKT when it comes to shutting down the Sejuani.
I think it's intelligent of Blank to actually leave that Wolf Camp, though, and head towards his race, which just came back up again. Sorry, race. What year is this, Papa Smithy?
Because blue buff wasn't taken, we don't see the blue buff steal attempt from SKT, but Blank is bot lane, and they're way extended.
Yeah, looking to go aggressive. Prey actually throwing down some damage, but there's the exhaust invested. Good flash, and they get the Lantern out as well. Too many minions to deal with. And that is just why Gorilla is so good on this champion, and why he's played it 14 times this season.
No Kalista to have full power Thresh in the roaming phase, but Gorilla does it on his own volition. As Alistar was vintage Gorilla in Game 1, going for the turret dives, chaining the CC onto the Tahm Kench and Ashe. So he's able to get out, and they only use that single summoner to summon a trade, but obviously a trade down, only exhaust used by Wolf.
And Cuz actually playing very patiently, looking for that counter gank on the bottom side. Blank still here. Longzhu probably understands this will be a 3v3. The Kings are out. SKT know exactly what's going on, and Blank is going to set up once again. Good vision available from SKT. Blank just going to say, well, you're going to be okay then. As, BDD, good seismic shove to save himself from Faker, but Faker doing a lot of damage here in the mid lane.
So the burst trades for Faker are good. His problems are melee champion, and also those sort of trades can only happen if he has an idea of where the enemy jungler is. When you have 3 pushing lanes, Longzhu should be able to cement control wards towards the Infernal Drake and also on the other side of the mid lane, and then you can't take those trades as aggressively as Faker. So if that was the only losing lane, I think Echo into Taliyah is a fine choice, but because of the side lanes that Faker has, he can't take the consistent aggressive trades that Echo's really set up to win.
Yeah. Faker is at least going to be able to clear out this minion wave. Chucks that one towards the turret, had the teleport of course, so gets that optimal back. Has his revolver now as well. Now looking to try and get a gank down onto Khan. Blank's here as well. And Khan could be in a lot of trouble. One of those dangers potentially of this Jace pick. Okay, not going to find the stun. There's the flash that comes out, but Khan's still in trouble. Cuz can make his way in as Faker. Just going to pick up that kill and probably get away. Blank may not be as lucky though, as BDD's going to turn up. Grabs that kill in return as Faker tanking up the turret, but he'll be okay. There's Shen, Luntara behind enemy lines, trying to get himself executed, and will do so. Nicely done, denies that kill away from Longzhu.
At the same time, Faker stays because he wants to push up the wave. Greedy choice, but he's level 6, so kill pressure kind of gone.
Yeah, well, Khan, he's going to teleport his way back there. Yep, there's going to be the stun potential. Denies Faker from making his way up, but Cuz possibly, no, decides not to go for the flash body slam.
Didn't have the damage on the barrel roll, even if he hits, so they back away. No free kill for SKT, a pre-plan because they did have strong turret diving. Speaking of turret diving.
Yep, now it's BDD, Weaver's wall coming down. Oh, denies the grand entrance as Wolf is going to flash his way out. Bang, ambush does go off, and he keeps that flash. Really intelligent play by the AD carry.
They weren't able to close in enough on him to actually force out the flash. They only get the single summoner because Wolf attempted the grand entrance over the wall and got popped back. Felt like a bit of an Azir wall there with how it denied the grand entrance. This is a very technical game. A lot of things are happening at the same time. As you say, early in the game, Blank reading the potential for Longzhu to copy the SKT invade against KT and going to an aggressive camp. Didn't have the blue buff to steal. That's why Longzhu didn't pull back and ward their blue like SKT did. But they put down a ward intelligently to spot out the pathing. When it comes to blue buff steals, the second blue buff is spawned, and Gragas is in spawn, so it's going to be a free blue buff steal for SKT.
Yeah, Blank's going to be able to take that one away, and we mentioned Sejuani not necessarily the strongest in the jungle early on. Gragas can certainly hold his own, but with good positioning and just good chess play by SKT, they're navigating around it.
It'd be a disaster if this was patch 7.16. Again, a reminder, we're on patch 7.15 with Urgot disabled, not 7.16 like every other region. The reason why I say that is that the Taliyah nerf was one of the most severe. It means you can't actually push lane because your Q costs so much mana that if you lost the blue buff, like we saw happen there for BDD, he wouldn't be able to push relentlessly into Faker. But because it's 7.15, he rushed Merc Treads, he doesn't have mana regen outside of the Doran's Ring, but largely will be okay because those mana cost nerfs aren't live yet.
Yeah, thankfully Khan comes down and helps Cuz pick up the blue buff, but Blank looking for the ultimate, doesn't land the full hit as Antara is knocked away. Good grand entrance from Wolf, but Cuz still walking his way out. Faker waiting in the wings, wanting to get that face dive on top of the Gragas, and Cuz knows that he's dead and he's going to sacrifice himself eventually. Faker grabs his second kill. Bang now in trouble. Prey doing a decent amount of damage, but the Blade Caller coming back and the ultimate from Bang is enough. Stands United coming in as well from Antara, keeps the rat alive.
They're able to make the aggressive trades around the map, but this time they're securing the kills. This time they're using Stand United intelligently to stop counter kills coming. At Longzhu were trading up in game one in those scenarios. But Stand United used, allows Bang to stay in lane. They can't even push him out of lane. That means it's just an unanswered kill for the side of SK Telecom.
Does mean that Blank has to now play up against Khan. The jungle, sort of a free area for Cuz to roam around in, could possibly get himself some form of advantage, but the 2v2 recommences here towards the bottom side of the map. Bang with a couple of long swords and Ninja Tabi in the face of a BF sword and just the brown bags. Khan running out of mana up here towards the top side, but still able to push things out, especially with no opponent, which does help you.
I mean, he was laning against the enemy jungler. He knows the moment the jungler uses the top lane is going to come in freshly shopped, so he has to shop, and that's why he's the last of his mana to complement his serrated dirt with, I imagine, some more swords.
Yeah.
Oh no, okay. Just the Merc Treads, so safety first after all the frisky nature of SK Telecom in the early game. And SKT, with 3 losing lanes on paper, and we always stress it's on paper because we're talking about natural laning matchups without jungle intervention. It's been very different in this game. They've been playing very actively, and those lanes haven't conjured the sort of lead you're looking for. And when you look at the comps and how much SKT has benefited in the late game, them being 700 gold ahead feels more like 3,000 to 4,000 gold because of what the late game looks like.
Yeah, that inflation. Now the grand entrance is going to come down. Ultimate once again for Bang, trying to get the kill onto Gorilla, but the hook is going to land. Prey, he's going to be the kill. Oh, Featherstorm comes out and they survive once again. Cuz is able to get himself there, and Faker was denied his way in. SKT probably still able to do a lot of damage to this turret potentially, because seems to be able to deny that as well. Just incredible play by the veterans of Longzhu.
Unbelievable stuff from Prey and Gorilla. They don't even need to use a summoner that time, only the heal from Prey. No flashes are blown by SKT. Faker couldn't rotate to join in on the party. Faker there would have been guaranteed damage from the face dive, and certainly at least 1 kill. They juggle the aggro perfectly to Longzhu. Cuz walks up with the barrel, just like we saw Antara in the bot lane when they attempted to dive onto Twitch. And they continue to trade even, but even is not good enough for Longzhu.
Nope. Khan actually starting to stretch his lead out just a little bit now that he's got some free time. Continues to be able to ward up the enemy jungle, but Faker thinking that he could probably utilize this one. Gorilla trying to annoy Blank a little bit, but Faker erring towards the top side could potentially deny the Khan that we saw the last game. Faker was relatively kept down in the mid lane. Game number 1. The Echo can run a long way.
Shot full screen, but it is the Infernal Drake first, so with 3 pushing lanes and Infernal Swan. Doesn't take a genius to work out. The Longzhu are just looking for the preferential time to start the Drakes rolling. If you pick pushing lanes, your reward is usually Drake. If they work for you, you feel great. If they work against you, you're frustrated. They do work for Longzhu, but because SKT have been patrolling the bot side with ganks, they have less bot side control than you would expect, and for now are frustrated trying to take that Drake.
Yeah, Hook is going to go wide. This is going to be a 3v3. Blank decides, or Cuz decides to pull the trigger. Tara taking some damage towards the top side. That's important. It means that the ultimate may not be necessarily as important as Bang. Jumps his way forward, another grand entrance. They will explode Prey this time. No way to use the Featherstorm. It was on cooldown anyway. The Faker going aggressive onto BDD at the same time, and Gorilla, is he going to be able to actually deal with this 3-man SKT squad looking to take down this turret? Cuz is going to make his way back over, but there's vision available from SKT. That pick just looked all too easy.
It's so synchronized when they bring in Blank, though. It looks like poetry in motion compared to some of the missteps with Peanut in game 1. They will have to surrender the blue buff, and SKT, everything is going perfect for them. It's Gorilla.
Yeah, Gorilla's just going to face check this one. Nice three-man play. Actually, massive damage coming down as BDD doing the work. Gorilla's going to be able to pick up the first kill. Make that a double kill for the veteran of the bottom lane, and BDD flashing with the threaded volley. Faker has the ultimate available from Antara, and they are going to be able to get out, but that should not have happened.
Should not have, and it does mean that Inferno will also go the way of Longzhu. They have to justify Khan using his teleport. Gorilla stuck around for so long, and you're thinking, Gorilla, come on, he's going to give them another kill. But he's able to keep them in position. No exit plan. Thresh picking up the doubles, not ideal kill distribution compared to Faker, who got the first 2. But this was supposed to cement SKT's lead in the early game. 4-man play into the flash body slam from Cuz, and then for BDD, it was absolutely fish in a barrel when it came to the threaded volley.
Just gigantic, as Faker has to use everything to get himself out, as well as Antara's ultimate ability in the Stand United. And continues to push, and remember, no turrets have fallen from either side, and now it's 100 gold. It was 1,000 gold to lead for SKT. Now pulling back to 100, Longzhu now up a dragon at the same time. Question is the ticking time bomb still what we need to talk about? Is Longzhu able to get themselves into a lead this stage of the game?
You see the value of veterans, though. Atlas as SKT return to the scene of the crime this time with plenty of backup. They also know that Gragas on the top side, so will be a blue buff steal. Speaking of the scene of the crime, they're looking to perpetrate another turret dive, and I'm just going to have to be careful here.
Yeah, Gorilla is going to be able to throw down the ward. Spot the fact that the shadow of Faker a few seconds behind him. Spotted out. He's going to move on out. BDD shoving his way forward. Khan going to steal away another blue buff. Of course, Jace loves blue buff, so they're okay with just trading each other.
Stole a red on Jax in game 1, gets the blue buff steal in game 2. But just coming back to my point, the value of experience is really on display in this series, because what we saw from Gorilla was veterans' instincts. He knew they had to fight behind. They couldn't just give up the blue buff after picking 3, winning lanes, and starting to lose skirmishes. They knew their own limits, and even with rookies, the trust to go in on that fight that looked horrible from the side of Longzhu.
Oh, perfect flash.
Beautiful flash from Gorilla. It's not down though. Teleport's going to be fully channeled. Oh,
actually, no.
Last second cancel from Faker is called away. But having Gorilla and Prey to actually lead the charge, to actually look for counter punches, where so many teams in LCK on the world stage would have just tried to go for acceptable losses and then went, wait, we can't have acceptable losses. Our comp doesn't work from behind, and just lost anyway. You see the value of experience because Gorilla made the call and the rest of the cavalry came in.
And now Khan is actually doing that thing that he did last game. He's up almost 30 CS. It was about this point that he was at a similar lead, now taking away all of Blank's jungle at the same time. That is actually a big deal because Sejuani wants to be scaling herself. It's going to be quite difficult with only half a jungle to deal with. Thankfully, they've had relative control over the bottom side of Longzhu's jungle as well. So we'll see whether Cuz can get some control back over there. But with no turrets falling down, you look at the team with the Twitch, you can't help but feel good. Cuz going to get interrupted by the Arctic Assault. Body slam not going to work. Permafrost coming in. Parallel convergence down as well. Flash out of the way of the sun. Nice two-man seismic shove as BDD getting a lot of work done. Phase dive is eventually going to get it for Faker as he picks up his 3rd kill of the game. Lasting a long time is now Bang looking for the ambush with BDD. Not going to be tricked.
Yeah, they still have control over the red side jungle, so all they give up is Antara pulling out of the top lane. A lot of top lane damage. If he gets the turret here, it is actually going to be a great trade for them, a 1-for-1. But the turret, you always take first brick over a kill in the mid lane. Faker is reaching that point where he does have pretty high burst range, though. Speaking of burst, Banks is going to pull back, enter lane. The fact that they fought so hard for control in the bot side means the Drake was later than expected, means they're actually finding kills around the mid to bot side. But the top side they've had to abandon. And even though it was a slow start for Khan, he is finally cementing on why Jace is such a big pick for him.
Yep. 31 CS in the lead, able to grab that first brick. Massive advantage as far as gold. Now has himself that phase as well as the Ghost Blade complete. Blank just going to be Winter's wrathing his way around the jungle. Will be a little bit disappointed with how the Gromp and blue buff areas are faring.
SKT want to engineer a way for a side lane turret to be down. They want to rotate Faker into a long lane, where chasing down Echo is always more frustration than it's worth. Feels like singed half the time when it comes to actually killing the damn Echo through the ultimate teleport and the other gap closes. And also rotate Twitch and Echo through those lanes into top lane.
Yeah, another grand entrance coming down. Prey not going to find a lot of damage with that Featherstorm, actually throwing it down more out of fear than anything else. Exhaust was gained as cute little snare lands onto Wolf. Prey lines it up.
When the damage trade though to Longzhu.
Yeah.
Bang did commit to his ultimate, so did Prey and Gorilla though, so 4 ults down and even between the two bot side as Cuz and Blank meet in a tank battle.
Tank D-warding battle. Bang's looking to try it again. Hook is of course available from Gorilla.
He's getting a rotation second. Gragas will be here first, but does move away. Seems like the junglers are not interested for now, as leaving Untara on an island against Khan was not what my scouting report said for SKT. No. But they chose to take Shen into Jackson on red side and then chose blue side, so they gave up any hope of getting Untara preferential lanes into the Khan.
Oh, you got 4 members now just careening towards this mid lane. Faker might be in trouble. Utilizes his dash cannon to try and find the creeps and does enough damage in order to deny too much damage onto that outer turret in the mid lane.
Timing of the rotation, beautiful. Deep push from Khan because Untara was just camping his inner turret as Drake is spawning in 30 seconds for them to get a setup. Jace does not work as a late teleport. You can't teleport at the same time as your enemy top laner when it's Shen against Jace. You need to be there early for the setup, push lanes, and then get wards down rather than have immediate impact. That's why we saw Khan walk down first. Now he's top lane though. They have been able to get some priority around the mid side and will have first entry into the Drake test.
Yeah. Feels like Jace is all about proactivity, and it feels like Khan pretty happy to be all about that as well. Certainly been where he's gained a lot of his stripes so far. His 1 season on Longzhu here for Summer.
Gold lead is almost entirely from Khan, also 2 kills for Thresh.
Relatively used to that. Blank going to get the flash out of Khan, but another side flash to come out from these Longzhu players who seem pretty comfortable dealing with Sejuani. As if it doesn't work, try again, but Wolf is in trouble. Explosion! As Gorilla's going to pick up his 3rd. Bang now running away as the teleport comes down from Khan. Jumps on top of Bang. They want to kill him before this stands united back. Parallel convergence. He's going to lock it down. Bang falls anyway. And out goes Untara. He's going to be smacked away. First brick was already taken by Longzhu, but they'll take second as well. And Faker wants to try and get 1 back, but it's against the flow. Another incredible passage of play at the right time from Longzhu.
And it's just Prey and Gorilla reading the 2v2s better than Bang and Wolf. Wolf walked up and died. Burst from full health, misjudging the amount of damage coming through. Guys, we'll relay what happened with the pause here. I'm guessing it's some sort of visual error, given the frustration. It is, of course, a high-octane moment in the game.
Yeah. Looked like Cuz was concerned about something. We can actually see the Longzhu booth from where we are, so I was just having a look at the players' faces, but let's have a look at this one yet again. Always good that we get a pause after some action like this.
Watch the return and how much damage went on to Wolf. That part looked fine, so I guess it could also be another type of bug, but we have no information, guys. We'll let you know. We extend the replay. Khan realizes they don't have enough damage to cement it. But great task from Cuz. Pushes him into the threaded volley. Should be the turret coming in. It sounds like it was actually just
the accidental alt tab.
Oh, that's an awkward thing.
I hate to see
that's quintessential.
That's a rookie mistake, isn't it? I believe it was Cuz. A rookie mistake.
What would be the equivalent of an accidental alt tab in like a game like soccer? Would it be like,
is that like falling in a drain?
To me, it's like somebody like tripping over a water bottle that's too close to the touchline or something. Awkward stuff, but we're back.
I feel like it has to be something that you can do at every single stage in the game, you know? I don't know, maybe it's just tripping over in general. As Longzhu are going to be able to take down this Ocean Drake. Baron has, of course, just spawned about 40 seconds ago, but no one quite prepared to take that one just yet.
Well, Gorilla's decided he's the bloodthirstiest Thresh we've seen in a long time.
He's got so much money, obviously.
He's up 800 gold over his opponent. Speaking of opponents, Wolf has gone for ardent sense of support, but not the one you would have expected. Sure, a lot of instant shielding from the side of the Rakan, but guess what it means, Atlas? Means he's really damn squishy, as he found out with the trade from Prey and Gorilla.
Yeah. Also means that SKT understand the bustedness of the Ardent Sensor situation. Bang not going for his Relic Shield this time around that Twitchers have enjoyed, but still will be able to do a heck of a lot of work now with that 1-item spike that the Twitch has, as well as Wolf picking up one for him at the same time.
Now, this is not a disaster for SKT. They got ahead with a scaling comp that was just ecstasy for them. Longzhu have won the last couple of trades. It's going to be a gold lead of about 1,600, which is nothing to write home about given the comps. The other thing is, we talked about side lane turrets being down. Not ideal, it's their side lane turrets, but there are longer lanes for the 3-0 Echo to really force bad situations, because no one member, including the Jace, is happy to take Faker in a 1v1, and that does mean that lane assignments for Longzhu aren't going to be ideal.
Yeah. Now Wolf is actually looking to try and grab some control of vision around this area. He's able to do so. It's SKT now. Blue side can get themselves those control wards in a little bit more easily, as Blank doesn't quite find the Arctic Assault, as Cuz just, I think that was the casual wander away in a fixed direction that he utilized in order to juke. Takes the Dark Passage and he will be absolutely fine, but good vision down from SKT is eventually going to be denied so that Longzhu can guarantee this rep up.
Always remember, in scenarios like this, that Longzhu don't have teleport and that Shen has priority on teleport slot over the side of Longzhu. Every time you see Longzhu contesting in what looks like a 4v4 can instantly go the other way. So they're always walking on a tightrope when Twitch could be roaming around, when the Shen could be teleporting in, and it's really playing on that razor's edge. It's so hard to do in front of these thousands of people, of being aggressive enough to vindicate the pushing lanes comp they chose, but also respectful enough of how far behind they will fall if a 5-for-0 wipe goes the way of SKT.
Yeah, and you saw actually Khan just there. They didn't see bang, they just couldn't see bang. That's the point, right? So he knew that he had to back away, waited until he could see the Twitch, as far away from Antara as he possibly could, kept himself safe. And we talk about aggressive players, often they fall into those sort of traps because they're trying to get aggressive. It's intelligent and reserved play for Khan on this stage.
And there's a great interview with BDD performed by Inven Global where he talked about what I learned in competitive play is that I need to be more respectful. I can't just play Zed and dominate like he found his star originally. It's all about respecting what could happen, and that's kind of the thing that happens in competitive play, Atlas. It's,
yeah,
well,
this
is the information I have. What could happen? What's the likelihood? What are the tendencies of the original players? And that's when analysts, that's when watching VOD really gets the maximum value.
Praise autos do so much damage.
And Wolf is about the squishiest Rakan we've ever seen.
That's a very good point. Maybe I'm inflating what it seems like because he normally has other items. As there's the Weave as well, just going to block off SKT. Stang setting himself up for the ambush, but only throws a poison cask in there, and that is going to be the outer ring already taken away by Longzhu. Answering turret was already there for SKT, but Blank's now going to get caught up. Nice double play as Wolf. He's going to take a bit from that one as well. Only one wall of the box is taken down. Wolf and Blank are both able to escape. That is going to be the red buff taken, and Faker should be able to make it a 1-for-1 as far as turrets by taking this top outer.
Just pick up the big objective. You always take a turret trade like it was performed there. Faker is still super fast, super fed as well. And Longzhu have not shown they have a plan to deal with him in the 1v1, so it has to be more about forcing the hand of Faker with a hook from someone like Gorilla. With the engage from Cuz, they have to pressure Faker into using his teleport, otherwise they're very likely to trade down an objective.
I've been watching a heck of a lot of Faker stream recently, Foxsmithy.
What have you learned?
I have not seen the Echo at all. It's honestly mostly been him just destroying assorted people with Lucian. But this is, once again, a pleasure to watch. Of course, he's played it in the past. It has been one of his picks. But that was sort of seasons gone by.
I think you also relate, I'll hold that point.
Yep, that is going to be the pick onto Gorilla. He's still pretty tanky though. He's one of the fed members of this team. As there's the buff, as Blank should be taken down, but Gorilla does eventually fall because the exhaust was used on top of him. It's great. Fantastic flash gets himself out, and Faker can't find him with the chrono break.
That being a 1-for-1 was absolutely insane from Graves.
And this might actually turn it into not that situation, as Khan just can't miss these shock blasts.
Khan needs to go and do some yakety sacks of his own, because he knows the rest of SKT are coming.
What? Oh! Wow.
Almost caught by just the tip of the Shadow Dash, not to be that time. They're turning back onto Prey, though.
Yeah, Prey's now in trouble. They've got a Weaver's Wall coming in as BDD, maybe turning up a little bit late to this fight as Wolf takes half of his health buff and should be okay. Oh my goodness, Faker actually going aggressive right now as BDD has to be careful. Parallel Convergence coming down. They're not going to be able to get any stuns because he can't stay too close. That pick on a Prey was good though.
15 seconds away, maybe even less than that from his ultimate, so Faker had to snap back earlier than he would have wanted, couldn't just rely on the ultimate. He's baiting now, he does have ultimate available. Khan has to be careful.
Yeah, Tara finds Cuz. No Stand United available. Just the chrono break there, as Faker could use it to get back to his exact position right now, but probably won't. With a mid lane build like this, you need it for the damage.
Khan's build is purely for just free hitting onto Shen. He's gone for a front-to-back build where he can do damage to Shen and the Sejuani primarily.
As many types of armor penetration as you can get.
Does mean, though, that he doesn't do that much damage, especially now he still has massive base damage, don't get me wrong. He can delete people. But what it does mean largely is that when his teleport is down, you respect him a little bit less. He's really as powerful as his side lane pressure with teleport is. So when the TP is down, a lot more grouping expected on the side of Longzhu.
Well, right now, Longzhu are grouped up, but it's Khan pushing out that bottom wave. Answered will be by on Tara, as he's actually behind enemy lines right now. It's kind of an Owen Wilson situation.
Trying to patrol for a quick Ocean Drake, but they don't have any control topside, and Faker is likely to get an inner turret. So they give up on the Ocean Drake, sorry, the Cloud Drake, I should say.
Longzhu now with the inside track moving up towards that inner turret, so Faker does have to back away. This game of chess continues.
Yeah, they're re-invading for vision. So the trade there is they re-invaded for vision and not giving up a chunk on their inner top lane turret in exchange for not getting a Drake, which sounds crazy to think about how important the valuation is on vision around the top side. But that's the Baron area, and if they pick up Baron, all the pushing lanes from Longzhu are for naught. The game plan, which already we said is a bit shoddy in the late game, is almost abandoned if Baron buff is completed. This does give control onto the Drake over to the side of SKT. Not going to make a full commitment.
That's mostly just Khan. Pressures them all away from this dragon, as Atara is going to turn up, but it's 5 members of Longzhu. The global abilities of SKT aren't going to be important. Good smite from Cuz. He's going to take that one away, and Sandagragas just waddles his way out. Free Cloud Drake there for Longzhu.
Pressure smites are working so far for Cuz. They're winning, so maybe that's the buff there, but it is working for him. He needed to pick that up to pile on a secondary objective in the future Elder Dragon buff.
There will be the most expensive warp shot I've ever seen. Is all right, Cuz going to take the land to get himself out, but it's a good seismic shove. Blank might look for the re-engage. Wolf has to flash once more. He's still so squishy. There's Faker now looking for a chrono breaks his way back. He's going to be healthy as Khan.
Meanwhile,
once again, just going to be killing Antara. Jumps on top. That's the solo. All too easy. Just blast cones his way out through the dragon pit that he made empty himself just previously.
We're going topside. We're going to the Baron after that pick, Atlas.
All right, so Antara is going to be spawning in 40 seconds, but remember, it's been 30 minutes in this game so far. That is a decent death timer. SKT, they've got a smite on Blank.
Twitch ult is down, Echo ult is down. SKT have to play this so carefully.
Yeah, and BDD now looking to set himself up after...
Faker's dead.
My God, Faker gets exploded. Had no way out anyway, but now the Baron below half health. It should be Cuz he's got a free smite. That's going to be another first Baron going over to Longzhu. They're in such control this series, and this is the Blank SKT. This is the upgraded version of this team. And Longzhu again with a massive lead in game 2.
So we go 4-0 up in the last 4 games, 2-0 up in this particular series. And you know what the crazy thing is, Atlas? The person who's carrying is the Fed member, it's Gorilla. He's able to be caught again and again. He pops a locket, he turns around and engages. This is what happens when you build 3 items that say "screw you, Shen" on the handles. There's nothing Shen can do. Shen is not set up to deal with every potential item to kill him.
My graphic settings do not go up that high, Papa Smithy. I could never read it.
4K monitors, baby. It's the future.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad.
Oh, God. Now you have to deal with the pushing comp with the Baron buff. Turret was there. It sends its regards. It's dead now.
Yep, the double Dirk combination coming out from Khan as he just rips through that turret. Longzhu do the same in the mid lane as well in this split that they're oh so good at. Longzhu seem to have managed the 4-1 better than any other team in the LCK when it was part of the meta earlier on, but they are going to turn on to Khan. Caster Curse is there. He lasts quite a while as Wolf now in trouble. BDD does a lot of work as that's going to be the kill. Onto Wolf being picked up. Chrono Break comes down. Not a lot of damage as he's got his Zhonya's as well. Buying a lot of time. Poor timing actually coming out of Cuz. It's Faker. He's going to live. Prey looks for it. Oh my God, the Stand United comes out from Antara. But they're going to be able to kill Bang in amongst everything.
They continue to tank the turret, and because they pushed up the minion wave, they get a lot of damage on it. Rakan keeps popping instantly. He's forced into sub-optimal engages because he's so squishy. His build is being turned against him. And Longzhu, they don't kill Faker. I professed his death too early, but he still lives. They managed to keep their inhibitor turret alive. But the dreams are still alive of Longzhu, going one game away from winning the summer final. We'll see the replay here. Faker has to enter this lane. It was a massive minion wave set up. Everything is up. They turn on to Khan. But just like when they found Gorilla, Khan takes exactly one rotation of spells longer than SKT would have liked. BDD instantly pops Wolf. That takes about one threaded volley from there.
Three-man seismic shove to start it off.
Well, it's great. They turn to keep fighting. Faker with Zonias, with ultimate, lives through all of this. But Longzhu, they're just charging down again.
Yeah. One more time. If at first you don't succeed, just keep going. Taro's gonna get hooked up as Gorilla once again showing that he's the playmaker. Good Shadow Dash gets him out of the way and taunts up Cuz to stop him from trying to engage any further. Faker jumps his way over, no kills just yet. Good damage onto the front line though, and that buys the space for Longzhu to take down the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor to immediately follow. Inner turret available still on the top side of the map. Freestanding gold for Longzhu. 7,000 gold approximately the lead now for the team.
They are winning the maximum with their pushing comp, and SKT are looking like they made a draft miscalculation. They thought they were good enough as a team with Blank in the lineup to make the proactive plays around bot side to stop this sort of game happening, and until Gorilla stood under turret, then stood next to the blue buff and made an Alamo about 10 minutes into the game, it looked like they were right. It looked like Faker would run away with the game, but every decision from there has turned to gold. With what they have, they've almost found the maximum. They've taken a single inhibitor, but they played that beautiful razor's edge of respectful but also aggressive. It's the difference between genius and madness, and Longzhu look like geniuses.
Yeah, and Longzhu they're playing super committed League of Legends here, and it sort of makes sense if you think about it. You've got two veterans, two powerful voices on this roster. It's not five veterans, it's not five potentially incredible shot callers in their own right. It's the rookie and the newer members of Longzhu following Prey and Gorilla's lead, and it's looked brilliant.
And the counterpoint I gave was GE Tigers versus SKT spring 2015, and you might say, but wait, Prey and Gorilla were there then. They were veterans then, and to some degree they were, but they were veterans of the Champions format of single round robin best of twos of much shorter seasons. They've been around 3 years since then of playing these extended seasons, and their rookies here trust them undoubtedly. There is no question in the mind of Cuz, especially BDD and Khan, not truly rookies, but obviously in a different scenario. Gorilla this time might actually be caught.
Yeah, may have been caught out of position. Big shields come in as Bang's going to be out of the one that picks up that kill. Cuz finds no one with the body slam. Now Longzhu will have to get themselves out of the way. You've got Antara actually getting some work done here in the mid lane as Blank might be out of position. Khan looking to turn on him as BDD and Prey keeping the rest of SKT out. Blank hasn't actually taken very much damage though. Parallel Convergence not going to find anyone. Prey off on his own. Does have Featherstorm, and Blank finally starting to take something as Prey comes in. Good Featherstorm. Fantastic timing as now Wolf should get picked up. No, dashes his way out with the Battle Dance as Antara finds his way forward. Good snare comes in. With the break, and he actually find it exactly right. Antara should fall, but no, dashes out of the way. Prey takes down Faker, and now Blank. He's just going to get chased down and murdered. How does this happen? Gorilla dies, and Longzhu still win the fight. A 3-0 after Gorilla had already fallen earlier on.
A 4v5, a true 4v5. They opted into it. No one was running away. They knew how powerful they were. They don't respect the super tanks from SKT. They DPS down Faker, who snaps back but still dies. It'll be second inhibitor for Longzhu Gaming.
And this just, it feels like it doesn't make sense, but it is that fairy tale that we were talking about for Longzhu. They're looking like they will be able to make this a 2-0 series. KT looks on and says, yeah, we did that as well, guys, and it is not over yet. But Longzhu looking brilliant, looking like they're trying to win this game right here. Khan just pops him on the back of the head. Antara not going to find any more joy. Bang's going to die as well. That's the double. Massive kills coming out for the Jason. A second Nexus belonging to SKT will be claimed by Longzhu Gaming.
I have never seen scenes like this in an LCK Grand Final. SK Telecom have played 6 Korean LCK finals and lost 3 games. That's over the course of 4 years. They've lost 2 games already in this series, and this is the worrying part. People will sit back and say, what about KT Rolster? They lost the first 2 games there. Remember, they only showed their counter-punch in Game 3. They brought blank in for Game 2 here. They were already pressured. They were already worried to make their big roster swap. And do they have another one? Can Huni have a God series and rewrite it? Because blank was not enough for them. And I'm not sure if the small adjustments are going to be enough, because Game 1 and 2 were different kind of game. Both of them were with the top laner having priority, and for some reason, the read from SK Telecom has been, it's fine for Khan to have advantages, we'll win the game around him, we'll gank lanes and stop the sort of game plan we saw from Longzhu work, but 2 times out of 2, it's fallen flat on its face.
Yeah. And I just want to shout out the consistency of the bottom lane for Longzhu. Of course, Gorilla was not present for the majority of this particular battle. However, Prey played it out so nicely. His Featherstorm timing, unbelievable. Gorilla for the entire rest of this game, outstanding.
Players remember the what-ifs of Grand Finals. What if I had done something different and what?
Yeah.
SK Telecom will have Peanut thinking, damn it, why couldn't I hit those barrels in Game 1? In Game 2, no one's thinking about the what-ifs. Unbelievable outplays from Gorilla and Prey. It was solely their great play, not the misses from SKT, that led to them not dying and trading evenly in the bot side. And it is so surreal that I sit here with you, Atlas, with Longzhu Gaming 2-0 up, and SK
Teetering
Telecom
on a clean sweep.
They need to double reverse sweep to win Summer. Even if they do it, that's a fairy tale in and of itself.
If they manage that reverse sweep, that's running the full gauntlet and then getting double reverse sweeps to give KT a spot in the World Championship.
And everyone focuses on the underdog, the fairy tale of Longzhu. Now there's a fairy tale to be written by SK Telecom. Which one will be written in blood and which one will be left on the paper? We'll find out over the course of this series.
Oh my god, it is so incredibly exciting, Papa Smithy. I cannot wait to see whether SKT are going to be able to start that strike back to get themselves in there, or whether it is going to be Longzhu getting the 3-0 dream and showing us that the fairy tales really do come true. We're going to have a short break, but when we get back, game number 3 and match point for Longzhu Gaming.